Hey, The Nest. This is Joy Johnson coming to you from my home in New Jersey. It's been a minute, but here to talk about a subject that I'm currently been going through. I would say since 2017. I've been managing my own property. I have two at this point, one in Alaska and one in New Jersey, but just want to share about three things that you should know about managing a property long distance. So first, it's doable. That's the best thing you should know about it. That is doable. But I do have a caveat to that. The caveat is that my first home in Anchorage, Alaska, was built in 2006. My home right now is was built in 1847. So I'm about to deploy. So how I treat my home in Alaska is definitely not how I'm gonna treat my home in New Jersey, and a big difference is due to how new the property is. I have little to no maintenance at all with my Alaska property, like almost nothing. So it's super easy to simply just get a text or a phone call from my tenant when they need something, and I'll call out someone, or I come down myself, which rarely ever happens. Like the thing right now is that the fireplace wasn't working, which I knew when the tenant moved in. So I reminded the tenant that, hey, I need to get this fixed. So I couldn't get it fixed in time before she moved in. And all I did was set it on the phone. She picked the time, and voila. Nothing different than I would have done in New Jersey because I have to work as well. So I'll set it up with the tenant. Tenant is home. I just pay for it. Super easy. So that's the first thing, is that it's doable, but I think the biggest difference is the maintenance on it. So if a property requires a lot of maintenance, this becomes very hard to do and very expensive to do when you are long distance. I would say the second thing is to ensure that your lease is so thorough to the point that it has automatic escalations in there. So say for instance, you want to renew the lease, you want to raise the rent. That's already included. You should already include that into your lease. How I know is because I messed up and did not include any of that into my lease. So I had a tenant, my first tenant that was in Alaska. So I managed my property while I was stationed in South Korea and while I'm here in New Jersey. So when it was time to renew the lease, tenant went ghost on me. So it became really hard to enforce the lease because I didn't have anything written in there that said that the tenant had to renew. It actually said that it goes to month, and the tenant took full advantage of that option, and I couldn't force her to renew the lease other than by terminating it. And you weigh at this point, like, hey, is a good tenant? Do I want to go through this whole termination piece of things, and possibly, I guess, ruin a good relationship that I currently have with my tenant? Like, no one wants to hear that their lease is terminated. So I kind of weighed it, and I left it be, since I wasn't going to up the rent anyway on her, because I don't know, I just didn't feel like the need to it with that market. I just left it as is, and she was a good tenant, and I was away, and I knew that if she left, I really didn't have much ground to stand on by trying to get a new tenant in while I'm in South Korea. That's kind of why I went through whatever I went through, but it still worked out. She left, and I got a new tenant in literally 15 days. I flew out there, fixed it up, and new tenant in 15 days. So it worked out. But now in my lease, now I include an automatic increase of 1.5% every year that you are renewing. And then I'll also include the fact that if your lease is ending, it goes month to month, but increases by $200. And then I would say that there's an option for you to renew your lease, but it is that 1.5% increase as well. So those are the ways that, one, I can give this person an out, and two, I can give myself an out, or a way to ensure that I am securing another lease annually. Because who wants to pay an extra $200 for the same place they've been staying in, just for a month to month? But so it'll kind of force them into another lease, another year-long lease for you. So something to think about with that. And I think three is, honestly, stay in touch. That's the last thing. Just be an active a property manager, it doesn't hurt to send a text. Hey, how's your things going? Do you need anything? How's the place? And best or worst case scenario, or best case, is the fact that you have somebody in that town that can come do a welfare check if that person needs it. So that was my quick spill. Just want to let you know you can do it if you actually want to do it. It's not impossible, but keep these 3 things in mind, and I can almost reassure you that you will be successful. If I could do it, definitely you can do it. Little old me. So don't forget to subscribe and like our page and like this video and share it for anyone you think that may need it. Until next time.